Hi guys, it is Tamara. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the cognitive restructuring model, and I want to walk you through what this is because I think it can be helpful in a few ways. You know, there's some people that feel like, well, you know, I'm not so sure this is helpful for me, and you know, I don't want to be so logical and rational, and what about my emotions, and what about when I'm in the moment? It's a little bit hard to think and focus when I'm in the moment and I'm upset or I'm, you know, angry. But I think the cognitive restructuring model from cognitive behavior therapy can be helpful. And I think if you learn to apply it appropriately, it can work for you. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. Thank you so much for those of you who have continued to participate. And for those who have, you know, decided to come back to my channel time and time and time again, I thank you so much for that. And for those who are new and have absolutely no idea what we do on this channel, I encourage you to first hit the subscribe button so you can stick around with us, and then go ahead and research the channel a little bit. You'll learn a little bit more about me, my background, my experience, and I think you might find some videos that can relate to you. We really do touch on a lot of different topics on this channel. The benefits for you in today's video is that I'm going to talk about the cognitive restructuring model, and I'm going to walk you through what it is and in what situations to apply it in. So when you think of cognitive behavior therapy, I want you to think of a kind of therapy that really focuses on, you know, controlling your thoughts so that you can in turn control or manage your emotions, and so that you can then control your behaviors, right? So it's called a thought, emotion, behavior connection. A thought, emotion, behavior connection. It's all connected. So if I got a clipboard and wrote this out for you, let me get a permanent marker, guys. All right, because I want to show you what this looks like. Okay, so if I get if I pause for a second and kind of think this out, I want you to kind of process it this way. So CBT is cognitive behavior therapy, and I want you to think of the model as thought, okay, feelings, and then behaviors, okay? And there's a connection between these things, okay? So here's how I want you to kind of look at this. Okay. All right. Whoa, I'm sorry. So this is the thought, feeling, behavior connection. Okay. And cognitive behavior therapy is CBT, and it kind of focuses on trying to narrow down the negative self-talk that you have, the positive self-talk that you have, how you make decisions, how you arrive at rational explanations, and how all of that impacts you, okay? And so there's a thought, behavior, and feeling connection. And CBT is really trying to break into that connection and help you point out where you go wrong in that connection. Where do I go wrong in the connection of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors? Where in there do I get thrown off? And a lot of people get stuck at emotions or thoughts. That's where they get stuck. So I want to walk you through how this goes, okay? Now, there are three things that cognitive restructuring tries to do. It tries to decatastrophize, okay? And I'm going to put it over here for you. Decatastrophize, right? So we're trying to bring something that feels like a catastrophe, it feels this huge. We're trying to decatastrophize it. So we're trying to bring it down to this level so that we can manage it. We're also trying to engage ourselves in what's called Socratic questioning. Socratic questioning. And that is basically a series of questions that tries to motivate you to find an answer. Okay, so why am I feeling this way today? What has pushed me into these emotions today? Why is my mindset so negative today? Does this mindset have something to do with my childhood? Is my trauma being triggered? Why is it that when I'm feeling this way, I get lost in it? Why can't I just heal? Those are all Socratic questionings, and each question is supposed to lead you to an answer. Okay, and we're going to talk more about Socratic questioning because we can actually do a whole video on that. So we'll see how far we get, guys. And if you guys find that Socratic questioning is something that you want to learn more about, let me know, and I'll go ahead and put together a video for you. But that's not really on my radar, but if you want it, I'll give you a video, okay? So we have Socratic questioning, okay? The last thing that we try to target with cognitive restructuring is thought records, right? So we try to keep records of the thoughts that are going through your mind, and we do that on a daily basis throughout the week. Maybe for a certain period of time, right? Maybe for 3 weeks, maybe for a month, maybe for a month and a half, maybe for 3 months, right? So the thought record is important because it's going to tell us what's going through your mind, when and why, okay? So those are the 3 things that cognitive restructuring really tries to target. Now, cognitive restructuring is the process, and I probably should explain this at the beginning, guys. I'm sorry. Cognitive restructuring is the process by which we try to restructure and change some of the skewed thoughts, okay? Your thoughts need to be altered and changed in a way that's going to be healthy, that's going to be beneficial, and that's going to be realistic. Okay, so cognitive restructuring is the process by which we try to change the brain into thinking in a balanced and less emotional fashion. When someone comes into my office and they say, my life is over, I'm getting a divorce, I cannot live with this man anymore. He has completely drained me. He abuses me emotionally and psychologically, sexually, physically. He doesn't compliment me ever. He doesn't bring the money home anymore. He doesn't go to the kids' practices after school. He's non-existent. All he does is work. I am absolutely done with this marriage, but my life is completely over. I'm sure you've heard that before if you haven't felt that way yourself. I hear it all the time. And really what that's considered, it's considered a cognitive distortion. A cognitive distortion. And a cognitive distortion is a skewed and twisted way that we think based on emotion alone. And so there are 2 cognitive distortions that she's engaging in when she says, my life is over, I'm done with this marriage, okay? There's 2 cognitive distortions that she is grappling with. One is emotional reasoning, okay? Emotional reasoning. And 2 is black and white thinking or polarized thinking. There's no gray. There's no in between. Maybe he's depressed. Maybe he's having an affair. Maybe he just doesn't feel welcomed or loved. Maybe he doesn't have a connection with family like he used to. Maybe he's withdrawing and isolating, right? There's no gray. It's all black or white. It's, I'm done with the marriage because he doesn't care anymore. He's done, There's no, well, what if this is happening to him? There's no consideration of the gray in the middle. Okay, and emotional reasoning is the same exact way, right? There's no logical thinking, there's no processing, it's just automatic emotion. And that's what typically gets us messed up. I used to be the same exact way. I'm very passionate and compassionate, and I care, and I'm very emotional at times. And I guess that's just being a woman. I don't know. I think it's genetic too. But that's just me. And so I used to decide based on my heart. Well, now I can decide based on my mind and my heart, and I can manage my emotions based on both as well. But some people have a hard time pushing their emotions out of the way so that they can then focus on the logical and the reasonable sides of the situation. So when you're engaging in polarized thinking and emotional reasoning, you're setting yourself up for failure right away, okay? So cognitive restructuring really does seek to minimize that emotional reasoning and that polarized thinking, and it seeks to help you decatastrophize, right? Bring it down from being huge to small. It tries to help you develop Socratic questioning so you can question and question to get closer to the answer. And then it tries to help you, or cognitive restructuring, guides you in the direction of recording your thoughts so that you can see what your thought processes are, okay? So let's say that you are that woman who is having a hard time with her husband, right? Well, you're emotionally reasoning and you are polarized in your view, right? how do we decatastrophize that? What are we going to do with cognitive restructuring to decatastrophize that? Well, number one, and I want you guys to follow me on this one, okay? So you can get a piece of paper, take notes, you can work through this with me. Okay, the first thing that you can do is write down all of the reasons why you feel the way that you do. Okay, so you could use adjectives: angry, disappointed, lonely. What's another adjective? Fed up, unmoved, unnerved, right? All adjectives. Okay, so that's step number one. You can write down all the adjectives, all the emotions, all the things that describe what you're feeling. You can write that down as step number one. Now for step number two, you want to engage in that Socratic questioning. So why is he possibly acting this way? Is he really acting the way that I think he's acting? Am I being overly emotional? Is there a possibility that something could be bothering him? Is there a possibility that maybe I'm overreacting and he's underreacting, right? Underreacting. Is there a possibility that I'm stressed and that's why I see him as the devil, as the enemy right now? Do we need a vacation to rebuild and reconnect our marriage? Is he angry because I'm angry all the time? Are my emotions spilling over into my family's life, causing them emotional distress, right? So you want to start that line of questions to try to see if you can arrive at more of a balanced, less emotional conclusion. Step number three is you want to look at your thoughts, okay? Do you have negative thoughts about your husband? He's a loser. He's never ever changed. He's never ever changed for his family. He doesn't care about anyone. His mother told me he would be a loser, right? All those kind of thoughts can change your behavior, because what's happening is when you change your thoughts, you're actually changing how you're feeling about the situation, and then you end up changing how you behave and react in the whole thing. So again, it's a connection. It's the thought, feeling, and behavior connection. So you want to watch your thoughts. So that's going to be step number three. You want to look at your thoughts. What are my thoughts? What is my line of reasoning in this situation? And am I setting myself up for failure because my thoughts are skewed and they are wrong about the entire situation? So you want to use this piece of paper that you're going to create for yourself in 3 steps, right? To help yourself narrow down what you need to be looking at. I like activities like this with CBT because it's concrete, it's straight to the point, and it's rational. It takes you out of your emotions and it puts you into a rational form of thinking. And this can be very helpful when you are in the middle of something that's emotional, right? Something that's really emotionally and psychologically destabilizing. The heat of the moment kind of emotions. When you're feeling suicidal and depressed, right? When you're having a panic attack or feeling anxious. CBT is very straight to the point, concrete, so it can really help you work with your thoughts, change the way you're viewing the situation, and then impact how you're going to react later, okay? Once you're done with this activity that we just did, then you want to go back and review it and see if there's anything that you need to tweak or reconsider. And then you want to check in with your heart and your emotions. Is this true? Am I feeling that this is right? Am I off here? Am I not off here? What's going on, right? So you want to do all of that, and then you want to decide on your course of action after that. Do I need to talk to my husband, right? Do I need to have a sincere conversation with the children? Do I need to change my behaviors and get counseling, right? Do I need to, put us all in counseling? You want to make your decision from there, okay? Let me know, guys, if this was helpful to you. I'll continue to do these kind of activities with you. We are now going to talk about trauma-based therapy, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to give you some information on what it is, what to look for, how to find a trauma therapist, how to make sure that you're actually getting a certified trauma therapist. And I want to tell you what my specialty is and why it's a little bit different than everybody else's. So thank you so much for coming back to my channel, guys, and thank you for watching this video today. I encourage you to give it a thumbs up if it was helpful to you, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share this video with somebody that it may be helpful to. You never know, you might be sharing a video that they really, really need to hear, even if they're not sharing with you, right, their own thoughts and their emotions. The simple fact that you shared something and they can click on it and maybe relate, that's healing. So I encourage you to share it with them. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.